I don't smoke. I take a walk every morning. I still cook for myself every day. Eleanor Fielding, 81 years old, listed those 3 things to remind herself that she's still okay. She's still healthy, still clear-minded and independent. But this morning, as she was peeling an apple in the kitchen, her hand trembled slightly. Strangely, just one small apple, but it felt heavier than usual. She set the knife down, took a deep breath, and sat on the wooden chair by the window. Sunlight streamed through the white curtains, light as mist. She looked out at the backyard where she once grew vegetables and once ran after her grandchildren every summer afternoon. Now the grass is a little overgrown, and it's been weeks since she last stepped outside. Something's not right, she whispered. No sharp pain, no obvious illness. Just not feeling as full of life as before. Have you ever felt like that? No diagnosis, no clear symptoms. But as the days go by, you feel a little slower, a little more tired, and sometimes your thoughts drift away mid-conversation. You're still alive, but you're not quite sure if you're truly living. Eleanor used to think it was just age, but the truth was something else. During a routine visit with a geriatric doctor, someone who had spent years studying health in people over 80, she heard a phrase for the very first time: the quiet reasons. Not everyone breaks down from a heart attack or a stroke. Many people after 80 start to decline, not from one big event, but from 4 small things, quietly happening inside their bodies. And Eleanor wasn't the only one. Walter, 83, still walks daily, but he's been more irritable. His back aches, and his sleep is restless. Clarissa, 86, tripped, just trying to get up from a chair. Franklin, 89, struggles with fading memory and light, broken sleep. Edna, 85, wakes up every morning not knowing what to do first, because no one is waiting for her to do anything. Each has their own story, but they all share one powerful connection. They thought they were aging normally. But in truth, something was slowly draining their vitality quietly, day by day. And the most important part, no one warned them. In today's video, we will look into 4 common but often overlooked reasons why life after 80 can become harder, more tiring, and at times, lonelier. We're not here to scare you. We're also not saying that everyone will grow weak with age. But if you're past 70 or caring for a parent or loved one who is, what you're about to hear might change how you see aging. This isn't a dry medical lecture. This is a journey through what's happening inside the people we love or inside ourselves. You might see yourself in Eleanor's story. You might think of your mother who still wakes early to cook, but sometimes forgets to turn off the stove. Or your father who used to be so strong, but now moves a little slower and speaks less than he used to. Whoever you are, whatever your age, if you've ever wondered, I live clean. I stay active. So why do I feel like I'm running out of fuel? You're not alone. And here's the most important thing. There is something you can do before it goes too far. So please stay with us until the end of the video. Not for warnings, but to hear what, perhaps for years, no one has ever told you. Let's begin. Reason number 1, silent inflammation. The fire you can't see. Walter Burns is 83 years old. You probably wouldn't think of him as frail or vulnerable if you met him on the street. He doesn't smoke. He doesn't drink. His weekly meals are neatly written in a small notebook in the kitchen. He brews green tea every morning and eats oatmeal with chia seeds, apple slices, and almonds. Neighbors often compliment him, always so neat and sharp. But what's happening inside Walter, no one can see, not even him. Lately, Walter has started feeling more tired. Not tired from lack of sleep, but a profound lingering fatigue. His body feels like an old flashlight. The light is still there, but dimming, turning yellow. He still wakes up at 6 a.m., like always, but now he has to sit still for nearly 20 minutes before he can get up. He still takes his usual walk, but just a few hundred yards in, his legs start to ache. His hands don't tremble, but small movements like buttoning a shirt or holding a spoon have started to feel heavier. Walter went in for a complete checkup. His blood test came back normal. No signs of arthritis, no diabetes, no high blood pressure. The doctor said, "It's probably just age, sir." But Walter knew it wasn't just aging, because never before had he felt like he was losing his energy from the inside out. Then, one day, his granddaughter, currently studying medicine, sent him a message. "Grandpa, I read about chronic low-grade inflammation in older adults. Ask your doctor if they can test for inflammation markers." Walter had elevated baseline inflammation when the doctor measured his CRP and IL-6 levels. Not acute inflammation. It's not a significant illness. Just a small, steady fire burning inside his body day by day. You might be like Walter, living clean, no major illness. But still, it feels like your body's battery won't hold a charge. That's a classic sign of chronic, low-grade inflammation that accompanies aging. Unlike acute inflammation, like when you get a cut or an infection, chronic inflammation doesn't come with redness or pain. It's more like a thin layer of smoke covering your body's entire system. Invisible, but it slows everything down. When we're young, our bodies are great at managing inflammation. But after 60, the immune system weakens, and inflammation becomes harder to control. By the time we reach our 80s, this silent inflammation is nearly universal, but rarely discussed. And it's not just age that causes it. It's also years of small, unnoticed things building up. Eating too many processed foods, exposure to environmental toxins, chronic sleep deprivation, lack of physical movement, long-term stress. All of these raise inflammatory cytokines in the blood, slowly damaging blood vessels, raising the risk of atherosclerosis, brain tissue, leading to cognitive decline, joints, causing pain and stiffness, the immune system, making the body more vulnerable to illness. But the scariest part, inflammaging has no apparent symptoms. You don't know it's eating away at you, until one day you find yourself lost in your familiar kitchen. You forget to turn off the stove. Your hands tire just washing a few dishes. You no longer feel the urge to step out into the garden. It doesn't kill you outright. It just dims your light bit by bit, day by day. But this is not a life sentence. Once Walter learned about this invisible fire, he started making small changes. No fancy medications, just simple, doable things. Swapped white bread for whole grain. Added more deep-colored vegetables to every meal. Cooked more often with olive oil, turmeric, and ginger. Took slow walks in the evening instead of early morning. Went to bed at regular hours and cut back on TV after 9 p.m. No miracles, but after just 2 months, he felt more alert. He slept more deeply. His mind was clearer each morning as he read the paper. And that sinking feeling like he was slowly fading began to disappear. If you're still here, listening, and you see yourself in Walter's story, pause for a moment and ask, is my body trying to send me gentle warning signs? Are you tired without knowing why? Finding your memory slipping just a bit? Reacting slower to the world around you? Those aren't just signs of normal aging. They could be signs of the silent fire stealing your health little by little. The good news is, you don't need expensive pills or extreme diets. You need to understand what you're facing and begin with small, manageable steps, like the way you made your tea this morning. Because if you can manage inflammation, you won't just live longer. You'll live brighter, clearer, lighter, and truly feel like yourself again, even at 80 or beyond. Reason number 2, muscle loss. The quiet strength being taken, day by day. Clarissa Monroe is 86 years old. She lives alone in a small house on the city's outskirts, where she and her husband once grew vegetables, raised cats, and shared quiet dinners by the window for nearly 40 years. After her husband passed, Clarissa kept her daily rhythm, waking up early, cooking, tending to her plants, reading books, and occasionally calling her grandchildren. She never saw herself as someone frail. She still took the bus to buy groceries. I still made soup, baked bread, mopped the floors, and cleaned the rooms, just like always. So when Clarissa fell in the kitchen, standing up from her chair to reach for the salt, she refused to believe it was just normal for 86. She didn't slip. She didn't trip on a rug. Her left leg didn't have the strength to lift her body like it used to. And she fell. The fall didn't break any bones, but it broke something else. She believed that she was still strong. A fall is often the final result of a series of quiet warning signs, the physical therapist told her. And as Clarissa looked back over the past few months, things started to make sense. She'd had trouble getting up from the couch. She had stopped using stairs and chose elevators more often. She got tired when lifting a whole pot of water. No one thinks a little weakness is a big deal until it turns into a fall or a sudden pain that keeps you from getting out of bed. Clarissa had just gone through something many people over 80 are quietly facing: the disappearance of muscle. The medical term is sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss. After age 60, we lose 1 to 2% of muscle mass yearly without actively using it. After 80, the loss speeds up significantly. And the most frightening part, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't make a sound. It just slips away. Your body isn't just getting weaker. It's losing the internal scaffolding that helps you stand tall, move quickly, stay balanced, and avoid falling. You might be thinking, but I still walk just fine. But take a closer look. Are you standing up from chairs more slowly? Avoiding stairs even though you used to take them easily? Noticing your arms and legs feel stiff when carrying things or cleaning? That's not just aging. That's your muscle strength quietly leaving you, day by day. And this can be dangerous because when muscle fades, it brings with it loss of balance, higher fall risk, slower metabolism, more belly fat and weight gain, weakened immunity, more frequent illnesses, lower dopamine, fatigue, poor appetite, and loss of motivation. Just one fall after age 80 can lead to weeks of being bedridden, losing the ability to care for yourself, becoming entirely dependent on others. And worse, many people never truly get back up after that fall, not physically, but emotionally. Clarissa was one of the lucky ones. After her fall, a physical therapist began helping her rebuild muscle strength, starting with the smallest movements. Each morning, she began with a straightforward exercise, standing up and sitting down from a chair 10 times. At first, just 3 repetitions left her tired, but after 2 weeks, she could do 10 without holding on. While watching TV, she used a light resistance band to pull with her arms, keeping her shoulders and chest strong each night. And after learning that low protein was a key cause of muscle loss, she began to eat 2 eggs every morning, add unsweetened soy milk to her routine, include more fish, kidney beans, and pumpkin seeds at lunch. Nothing complicated, no gym memberships, just small daily choices repeated. After just 1 month, she wasn't just stronger, she was more confident. For the first time since her fall, she smiled as she stood up from her armchair. Not because she didn't fall, but because she felt like herself again. If you've ever said, "I feel a bit weaker, but it's probably just age," please remember, your muscles don't know how old you are. They only know if you're using them or not. And the fantastic news is, muscle can rebuild at any age, even in your 90s. Here are a few small things you can try today. Every morning, stand up and sit down 5 times before brushing your teeth. While the kettle boils, bend and stretch your arms like a gentle exercise. Use small water bottles as light weights. Lift each one 10 times. Take a walk every afternoon, even just around the house. Your muscles are your armor. They help you stay upright. Carry groceries, open jars, push open doors. But more than that, they help you live a life with freedom. Clarissa once feared she couldn't live alone anymore after her fall. Now she knows, strength doesn't mean never falling. It means choosing to rise again, even at 86. And you can too. Just start right where you're sitting now. Reason number 3, poor sleep. When the brain doesn't get repaired. Franklin Ellis is 89 years old. People around still call him Gentle Mr. Ellis. He lives in a small wooden house in the middle of a garden filled with fruit trees he and his late wife planted over the past 50 years. She passed away 7 years ago. Since then, he's lived alone. He still has his morning tea, tends to the orange trees, and mows the lawn regularly. Aside from his mind feeling a little slower now and then, he figured he was doing just fine. But lately, something strange has happened. He can't sleep well. Not total insomnia. But each night, he wakes up 3 or 4 times. Sometimes from thirst. Other times, for no apparent reason at all. He lies there, staring at the ceiling, waiting for sleep to return. At first, he didn't think much of it. Older people just don't sleep as much. But then, he began to forget things. His youngest daughter's name, the neighbor's phone number. He found himself getting irritated when the garden hose tangled. His body felt heavy, his mind foggy each morning, even though he went to bed on time. And worst of all, he couldn't recall what he'd done the day before some mornings. Then, one day while watching TV, he heard a geriatric doctor say something that stopped him cold. If you're over 80 and not sleeping deeply, it means your brain is no longer being repaired. That sentence changed everything. He began reading more and realized that the tiredness, the sluggish mind, the forgetfulness, they weren't just old age. They were the signs of a brain that hadn't been properly cleaned and repaired during sleep. Did you know? Deep sleep, especially between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., is the only time your brain cleans itself. During deep sleep, the brain's glymphatic system becomes highly active. It clears out neurotoxins like beta amyloid, which is linked to dementia, regenerates damaged neurons, restores emotional balance and boosts serotonin, strengthens the immune system, fights inflammation, and helps repair tissue. But if you sleep lightly or don't reach deep sleep, these vital processes don't fully happen. The brain doesn't get washed, your emotions don't reset, your memories don't get sorted, and over time, the consequences build up. More forgetfulness, irritability and anxiety, daytime fatigue, higher risk of illness, loss of focus, and eventually, a loss of yourself. Franklin used to ignore his sleep. Now, he treats it as the most potent, prescription-free medicine he can give himself each day. He didn't take sleeping pills. He didn't buy a new mattress or high-tech gadgets. He just made 3 simple changes and did them every day. Each morning, he stepped outside early to get sunlight. From 6:30 to 7 a.m., he stood beneath the trees, letting the soft light filter through. Natural sunlight helps reset the body's internal sleep clock, your circadian rhythm. After 2 p.m., he stopped drinking coffee or caffeinated tea. He used to sip tea at 4 in the afternoon, thinking, it's just a little. But caffeine can stay in the body for 6 to 8 hours, quietly blocking deep sleep. Now, he drinks warm water or ginger tea instead. Before bed, he turned off all bright lights and the TV by 9 p.m. He swapped his bedroom lights for soft amber bulbs. No phone, no news. He breathes quietly, listens to the crickets, and slowly lets sleep come to him. And after just a month of this routine, Mr. Ellis noticed he was no longer waking up 3 or 4 times a night. Even at nearly 90 years old, his mind felt clearer. He no longer snapped over tangled hoses. He remembered his grandchildren's names. Each morning he woke up with a clear head, like a song that had been rewound, cleaned, and played fresh again. If you've been listening and thinking, light sleep is just part of getting older, please remember, normal doesn't mean harmless. We were not meant to sleep poorly, not even in old age. Sleep is the body's root-level repair system. It doesn't just help you feel less tired. It helps you keep living with clarity, calmness, and the patience you've always had. And you don't need to do anything significant, just a few small steps. Get 15 to 20 minutes of morning sunlight. Avoid caffeine after 2 p.m. Turn off screens at least an hour before bed. Sleep in a dark, cool, quiet room. Try listening to gentle rain, soft music, or reading a light book before sleep. You don't need more sleep. You need better and deeper sleep. Franklin was never a great sleeper, but he relearned how to respect sleep as something sacred. And every morning, when he wakes up with a clearer mind and sharper memory, he knows he's truly living, even at 89. Sleep isn't just rest. It's a secret doorway bringing you back to yourself. Tonight, are you ready to step through that doorway entirely? Reason number 4, disconnection, when no one's waiting for you anymore. Edna Rose is 85 years old. Her hair is pure white, neatly tied into a small bun at the nape of her neck. Her eyes are still clear like a quiet autumn lake, but they hold something that words can't quite explain. She lives in a small house in the suburbs, a home that once echoed with laughter. Of her husband, Stanley, and their 3 daughters playing hide and seek from room to room. The house still has all the furniture, the books are neatly lined up, and the TV plays cooking shows daily. But it's missing something, the sound of real people. Her husband passed nearly 10 years ago. Her children are all successful, but live out of state. The grandchildren are many, but busy, as they often say when she suggests a video call. She doesn't blame them. She understands. But the truth is, there are days when she doesn't speak a single word. No one calls, no one knocks on the door. No one needs her to answer. The first time she felt terrified wasn't when she was alone, but when she realized no one knows whether she's okay today. When you're 85, living alone, with no one waiting for you, no one checking in, the world starts to fall into a terrifying kind of silence. No one says your name. No one waits for dinner. No one asks, "How are you feeling today, Mom?" Little by little, you stop wanting to wake up early. You stop dressing nicely. You stop opening the curtains. Eventually, you will stop feeling like you're part of anything at all. That's what scientists now call social disconnection and loss of purpose. Not every older person feels lonely, but those who are physically or emotionally isolated often suffer deeply. Weakened immune function, over 60% higher risk of depression, greater risk of memory loss and cognitive decline, and significantly reduced life expectancy. Why? Because the human brain doesn't just need food, it needs to feel needed. The sense that you matter, that someone is waiting for you, that there's something to do today. That's what supplies dopamine and serotonin, the very chemicals that keep our minds bright and our souls alive. Edna used to be lively, artistic, and a lover of handwritten letters. Now she often sits silently for hours, staring into the backyard, where her husband's old rocking chair still sits, covered with a soft layer of dust. No one's waiting for her letters. No one responds to her birthday cards. Then, one morning, she heard a psychologist on the radio say, "An 85-year-old lives 5 years longer, not because of medicine, but because they feel needed." That sentence hit her like a small, gentle light piercing through, and she made a decision. She was going to reconnect in any way she could. From that day forward, Edna began a new ritual. She called it her one task each morning. Monday, call an old friend to say, "I still think of you." Tuesday, write a letter to her granddaughter, not to get a reply, to send love. Wednesday, print out an old recipe and bake it like a task she'd been assigned. Thursday, visit the senior group at the local library. Friday, take a folding chair to the park and greet 3 strangers as they pass. No one asked her to do these things, but having something to do became medicine. After 2 weeks, she was eating better. After 1 month, she started remembering family birthdays again, not because there was a party, but because she wanted to feel like she was still part of the family. If you're listening to this, and you've ever quietly wondered, does anyone still really need me? The answer is yes. You need you. You need to know that as long as you wake up, breathe, and see the sunlight, you still have the chance to reach out. Don't let silence become the quietest kind of illness. You don't have to wait for someone to call. You can call first. You can write first. You can step out the door first. Here are some small suggestions. Call one person every morning. No special reason. Write a letter to someone you once cared about. No need for a reply. Give yourself a straightforward task each day. Water the plants, feed the birds, pick a flower, join an online community for seniors. You don't have to leave your home, but you'll still hear other voices because a simple hello can brighten an entire day. One glance, one wave can lift the weight of a whole week. One small daily task can help you live longer. More than any pill ever could, Edna no longer fears the mornings. Each day, she has a reason to get out of bed. Not to go far, but to feel again, like part of the world, even through the smallest gestures. Growing older doesn't mean growing apart. It's a time to reconnect the pieces that once felt lost. If there's someone you can still call them. If you can still write. And if today you feel like no one's waiting for you, then become the one who's waiting for you. Because sometimes what keeps us alive the longest isn't medicine or doctors. It's the quiet knowing, I still matter. Turning 80 isn't the end. It's the beginning of a new way to live. They didn't grow weak because they were old. They faded because no one ever told them what was quietly draining the life from within. There was no accident, no terminal illness, just small things repeating silently. Until one day they no longer wanted to get out of bed. Walter didn't know that his constant fatigue wasn't just aging, but a slow, hidden fire of inflammation burning inside his body. Clarissa never imagined that a simple fall resulted from muscles quietly disappearing year after year. Franklin thought waking up several times each night was typical, until his memory began to fade like a morning fog. And Edna, she didn't realize that what was draining her spirit wasn't disease, but the weight of too many days when no one needed her. 4 people, 4 stories, 4 silent reasons. But deeper than all of them is a greater truth. We are not defeated by time. We are worn down by what we don't understand. No one teaches us how to live after 80. No one warns us about the changes that don't hurt. But quietly, take our life force daily, with quiet politeness and relentless patience. That's why this video isn't just here to inform you. It's here to remind you, silent inflammation is a hidden enemy, but one that can be softened by real food and healthy habits. Muscle loss isn't just normal aging. It's a warning of imbalance, losing autonomy, and the right to live on your terms. Poor sleep isn't a minor issue. It's a sign your brain is no longer repairing itself, and the clarity that made you you is slipping away. And disconnection, something many suffer in silence, is a kind of spiritual collapse that drags the body down faster than any disease. Being 80 is not the end. It's a bell ringing gently. You can no longer live as you did at 50, but you can still live fully, beautifully, in a way that honors all the love, loss, and lessons you've carried. Life doesn't keep itself alive. It is sustained choice by choice. A glass of warm water instead of afternoon coffee. A phone call instead of a silent day. A moment of standing and sitting instead of staying in bed till noon. An apple slice instead of a sweet treat after lunch. An earlier bedtime instead of watching TV late into the night. These aren't extras. They are the medicine of aging. Unprescribed, unwritten. But when missing, we lose more than health. We lose ourselves. We share these stories not to frighten you, but to remind you, aging doesn't have to be a decline. It can be a quiet, sacred season if we nourish it at the roots. You can live well beyond 80, not just with pills, but with understanding. With the wisdom to ask your body each morning, what can I do today so I still want to wake up tomorrow? If that question brings a smile to your face, then you've already won. Not against time, but against giving up. You can't change your age on paper, but you can change how you step into that age. You can choose to live deeply, not just long. To live meaningfully, not just be present. To live connected, not just exist. And every time you choose well, your body thanks you. Your mind softens. Your heart shines. And being 80 becomes something to live for, not fear. If you've made it to the end of this journey with us, please don't let it be just a video. Let it be a beginning. A moment when you say to yourself, I'm still here. I can still begin again. And I am still worth living fully. We believe in you. Because if you're still listening to these words, that means your light is still shining. If you're still here with us, take one more small moment, not just to listen, but to check in with yourself. Leave a number in the comments. 1. If you've ever felt tired for no apparent reason. If you've noticed your body growing weaker, even though you're still active. 3. If your nights are restless and you never knew how much it could affect your mind. 4. If you've ever felt like no one's waiting for you anymore. Just one number. But it could be the first step toward really listening to yourself again. And if someone came to mind, a loved one, a friend, maybe just an older neighbor you passed during your morning walk, share this video with them. Because sometimes a single story at just the right time can change the direction of an entire life. And if something in today's message touched a place deep inside you, a place not everyone sees, don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell icon. Not so that you won't miss a video, but to remind yourself that you're not alone in this journey to live fully and wisely after 80. We'll be here, sharing real stories. For people like you, people who don't just want to get old, but want to age with dignity, understanding, and love. See you in the following video. But for now, go live today with your whole heart, because you still have so much to live for.